family, oops, that's a secret. um, it's been several years, really hard, tough years for my dad and the family. 2010, we've gone home twice that year. My mom's death anniversary, of course, Auntie Thelma, to everyone, or Mommy, to their good friends, Lorena, Elsie, and the seniors. They were all here the other day, Friday. My mom's death anniversary is 2014. I'm sorry, February 14, 2004 is when she passed. Dad made sure that we would go home to Manila and celebrate her passing. And I know that's part of his mourning, grieving, but just like what Arnie says, my dad is the strength of the family. He never wavered, he always shows and set by example. So 2010, I was able to go home with Papa for 2 times that year, February, and we had to come back in June for some business things that Dad had to finish. And 2011 was challenging health-wise for Dad and myself. But I know my mom's always around, always with us, always with the family. My husband, Arnie, like what he said, me, amongst my siblings, is the most lucky child to have both parents bring up my 3 children. I would say one of my best gifts to my father in 1983. I gave him one of the best gifts that a daughter would give a father. My firstborn, Janina, was born the same birthday of my dad. And my mom named my daughter Janina because it's June 25, and I think that's San Juan or Fiesta of John the Baptist, where they wet you or spray you with water. So I said, Janina, that's a nice name. So from that time on, when the second came, Joselle, I gave her the second name from my sister Carol, who passed in 1984 when Giselle was born. And the next year, John, not the daughter, but my only son, the youngest, the Depala of the daddy, came in December 23, and my dad and mom took me home because I said, I don't want to be in the hospital. I had all 3 of them cesarean section, but just like what I said, the lucky daughter, because I have my mom and dad with me, caring for me, caring for my children, and their popsy, as what all the grandchildren would call them, named my son, because I wanted to name him Jasper. So definitely he's a son, right, son? Jasper, because one of the gifts of the 3 kings is Jasper, and I consider him a gift. But my papa said, I want him named John Christopher. And that followed suit, and I know my dad is very proud of my 3 children. And the very best gift that he gave my 3 kids, who are all nurses, and all 3 of them, at the very end of my dad's life, was all 3 of them there, present, serving their grand or popsy with their Tita Lian, with the family, my sister G, my brother Pinky, who flew in from Florida when Dad was still in the ICU. He flew back last night. He was with us Friday and Saturday viewing. But like what I told my daughter Janina last night, who was having a meltdown, honey, consider that a gift. Your Popsy, Giselle, John, you were there to serve him to the last. It's like what your dad said, live by example, because that's how your Popsy would want you to be. He is definitely an example. He's the greatest dad in the world. He loves all of us dearly. One thing I can proudly say to my papa, not once did he ever make palo or discipline. He would just say, your mom's gonna get mad, and that's already enough for us to, oops, mom is gonna palo you. My son knows that palo word. So, Dad, I know you're happy with mom. She came that morning, as like Leon said, and you're there too with my brother Bobby and Carol. I love you, Dad. I love you, Popsy, dearly. And thank you for all the love, the care, everything that you've given us, the family, grandchildren, and there's one only great-granddaughter, that's Turi. My brother's first apo, and our adopted son, grandson, Cody, and of course our additions to the family as the children are growing up. There's Susan, who was also there on Popsy's bedside when he passed that morning. She stayed with Tita Leon the night before. Shinta, I want to thank you for being there. For Janina, Giselle, and John, take care of John, Shinta. He's your other sister. These are all families, and we're all friends, and and I guess I want to part this to, just like what Dante said, and my Arnie said, to the young ones. The most important things on earth definitely is love. And I know my mom brought us up the fear of God. Anything is possible with God's blessings. So I know that it's hard, it's bittersweet for me coming home or going home to Manila. Really sad to take my dad and bid him farewell, but sweet in the sense that I know my mom's there and that's how they would want to be together. So I love you, Papa. I love you so much.